Now, we got a lot of things, a lot of racism going on in the world right now. Who's more racist, black people or white people? Black people. You know why? Because we hate black people too. Everything white people don't like about black people really don't like about black people. There's some shit going on with black people right now. It's like a civil war going on with black people. And there's two sides. It's black people and there's niggas. The niggas have got to go. Every time black people want to have a good time, ignorant ass niggas fuck it up.
Now, I feel Chris on this one because I understand where he's coming from. He's actually speaking to a larger issue, which is how black people are perceived. And I think where he's going, he's trying to say, don't judge us by the worst of us, because we hate those people too. And so I think this is pretty genius. And it speaks to another issue, which is black culture. Black culture has been under the attack lately. And you got even some black people saying there's a problem with black culture or black culture is bad. And so what I want to do in this particular video, this is going to be one of two videos. This video is going to highlight the excellence and the greatness, because sometimes we kind of forget about just how great we are because the media has been focusing us on the worst of us. They get all the publicity and the shine. And that is the image that is being projected around the world. And we have to, us as good black Americans, we have to carry that burden. Like, for example, how many times you watch the news and there's a crime committed, like let's say a shooting, and the first thing you're thinking, oh my God, I hope he's not black. Because we are so bombarded with so much negativity about our people, we're just praying that it's not us again. It's like again, and that's what we deal with. So it's not surprising that when immigrants come to this country, they immediately hate us, because that's part of the propaganda machine. Ever since we've been in this country, there's been propaganda pushed forward to paint us in the most negative, subhuman way possible. Let me bring your attention to a video or a movie that was made in the early 20th century called Birth of a Nation. And it's basically a racist white propaganda machine, focusing on the Ku Klux Klan saving the day from black Americans. And so this little clip, before we get into the highlights of our culture, I just want to remind you just how long ago this propaganda machine has been in place. I'm going to show you a clip of some of the stereotypical imagery that was put in this particular movie. And it's not surprising that that imagery still exists today. So I'm sure you guys get the idea of what's going on here. This propaganda has been going on since we've been in this country to paint us as fools, clowns, morons, subhuman, not worthy of holding office in the United States. And so this is the same opinion that the world has of black people. And so this is what we have to overcome every day of our lives. But I don't want to focus on that so much. I just want to, basically demonstrate just how far we've come despite all of the negative propaganda that's been pushed on us. So let's talk about some of the greatness. Let's talk about Tulsa. Let's talk about the Harlem Renaissance.
Between the 1870s and the beginning of World War I, Black pioneers settled more than 100 all-Black towns in the West, each with the goal of economic independence. Among the most well-known was a Black district in Tulsa, Oklahoma, known by its residents as Greenwood.
If we were to go back in time to 1920 and walk up and down Greenwood Avenue, one thing that would probably strike us is the absolute variety of businesses. The numbers are astonishing. 30 restaurants, 45 groceries and meat markets. There were dry goods stores, milliners, photography studio, dental offices. Greenwood is no longer called Greenwood. It's now known as Black Wall Street.
This whole idea of self-containment really existed there. The dollar would stay in that community sometimes over 3-5 years before it ever went outside of the community.
Throughout the decade of the 1920s, Black writing, art, and music flourished, ushering in a cultural revolution that rocked the United States.
One of the most important factors that accounted for the rise of what we know of as the Harlem Renaissance was the migration of Black peoples from the South to urban centers like Harlem.
The Jim Crow era began after Reconstruction, and every Southern African American had to think about, what should we do? Should we go or should we stay? For many of these people, it was a matter of life and death, literally.
Sometimes in the most repressive times, we create the most extraordinary art.
Amidst the fervor of the Great Migration, bold, exciting forms of Black music evolved, along with venues to listen and dance to this music. Blues and jazz clubs became a central part of life in Harlem, where artists such as Louis Armstrong and Duke Ellington, Bessie and Mamie Smith rose to prominence.
He went away and never even said goodbye.
The era also saw the burgeoning of literary work by and about African Americans, which the writer Alain Locke compiled into an anthology. He called it The New Negro, and its name came to define a movement.
The Harlem Renaissance is a facet of a larger movement that we think of as the New Negro movement, where you have a new generation of Black people, by this point, 2 generations out of slavery, using the arts as a way to help people gain broader civil and political rights.
Some of the framers of what became the Renaissance make the argument that the artistic worth of a people has to be proven by the worth of the art and literature they produced, especially for people that historically, over centuries, have been defined as without culture, without history, and without any record of achievement.
The Harlem Renaissance was the flowering of creativity that had been suppressed for centuries. People that...
Let's not forget our musical heritage either.
My car, I see no changes. Wake up in the morning and
Important to recognize and celebrate the amazing things they have created. Black inventors have faced many challenges throughout history, including slavery, discrimination, and racism. Despite these obstacles, they have amazed the world with their intelligence and creativity, leaving a lasting impact on our lives.
So what I want to do in this particular portion of the video is talk about some of the inventions Clearly, there are numerous inventions. It would take too long to go over all of nearly over 1,000 inventions created by Black Americans in the United States. So let's get to it.
Alright, if you've ever had to deal with a traffic light being out, it's like the worst game of chicken. So you know how crucial those things to our daily travel, right? The 3-light traffic light was invented by Garrett Morgan in 1923. He was the first Black person to own a car in Cleveland, Ohio. And so while he was driving, he witnessed a crash, which led him to this great idea. And guess what else he invented? The gas mask. Next, you've definitely been in one of these, but I'm not talking about the elevator. You see those doors? I'm talking about those automatic elevator doors. They were invented by Alexander Miles in 1887. And before this invention, riding those elevators was risky and dangerous because you see, they had to use a series of manually closing doors to keep you in. All right, next. Without these, our food would spoil before we could even get it. Frederick McKinley Jones invented refrigerated trucks in 1940. He also started a company that later became Thermo King, which played a significant role in World War II, delivering food, blood, and supplies. Jones patented more than 60 inventions in his lifetime. All right, now, what if you could only show your images in black and white? Now, we've all heard of Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, but do you know Mark Dean? No? Well, he's the guy that gifted you with color on your computer screens. He worked at IBM, and the company thanked him for 3 of its original 9 patents, responsible for the creation of the personal computer. Oh, and a fun fact here. Dean is a graduate of Florida Atlantic University. Now, everyone knows what this is. Some of y'all can't even put it down when you get it either. Most of the mics we use today are based on the Foil electric microphone, created by James E. West and his research partner, Gerhard Sessler, in 1962.
All right, well, let's talk about HBCUs and Black excellence and what we do on a playing athletic field.
He's not worrying you no more. So he needs some Black history and he needs some Black culture so he'll know who he is and be proud to be who he is and quit worrying you so much.
That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
And he's going to stop the fight. It did not last 20 seconds.
This the finale on the first round for Vince Carter. It's over! It's over, ladies and gentlemen!
Third and one from the two. Here's Bo. And here comes Bo for the touchdown.
Black Power fam.
What did you discuss back in the hotel room?
Nothing. Friends, just like Khrushchev and Kennedy and everybody. When the people, all of the politicians of all other white races come together, and they, although they believe different, they think different, whites can come together and discuss the common cause. But whenever a few of us come together, the world is shook up. And I say, whatever went back there is our business.
Reverend King, do you agree?
Oh, yes, yes. We had a very good discussion on many matters. And, of course, these are not things that we would discuss here. But we do have common problems and common concerns. And above all, as Muhammad Ali has just said, we are all victims of the same system of oppression. And even though we may have different religious beliefs, this does not at all bring about a difference in terms of our concerns.
Still brother. Do you share the same, one more question, do you share the same concern?
Now let's continue to celebrate the excellence in our community. Don't allow others to categorically dismiss you and your people as unworthy of celebration. Again, part 2 will deal with those in our community and outside that are shamefully participating in the destruction of our culture. Please like, subscribe, share, hit that Cash App. Any suggestions you might have, you can contact me through my email. Love you. Peace.